Hello, friends, fiends, and fellow UBTubers, and welcome to episode 806 of the Daily Comic and Collectible. Today, the collectible of the day is the Hasbro Toys, Marvel Comics, Marvel Legends series, Retro Spider-Man collection, the Sandman action figure. A massive dose of radiation bonds petty criminal William Baker's body to sand, creating a massive threat to the amazing Spider-Man. This 6-inch scale Marvel Legends Sandman is a reissue from the Retro Spider-Man collection, and was inspired directly from the character in the Amazing Spider-Man series. Sandman features a premium design with intricate deco, hand-painted elements, and highly sculpted details. This 1/12 scale figure also features advanced articulation, with over 26 points of movement, including the head, arms, torso, legs, and feet, adding great posability and displayability to your Marvel collection. This premium figure comes complete with 5 extra accessories, including an additional removable head and 4 total sound effects accessories. This Spider-Man Retro Collection action figure comes on a blister card package and was designed to resemble the Toy Biz Toys line of the 80s and early 90s, but was updated with artwork and logo. This Marvel Legends Sandman was originally released in 2020 by Hasbro Toys. Now, the comic of the day is Amazing Spider-Man, Volume 1, Issue number 281, with the cover date of October 1986, with story by Tom DeFalco, art by Ron Frenz, and cover by Mike Harris. This issue is titled, When Warriors Clash. Hired by Jack-O-Lantern to eliminate Silver Sable and Spider-Man, the members of the Sinister Syndicate have the pair surrounded after collapsing a wooden roller coaster at the site of Coney Island. Before the Beetle can land the killing blow, the Sinister Syndicate is attacked from behind by the Sandman, who's arrived on the scene to investigate the collapse of the roller coaster. The Beetle orders his comrades to attack the Sandman, which Hydro Man is eager to do, since they've an old score to settle. While the Sandman keeps the villains at bay, Spider-Man carries Silver Sable to safety. As Sandman clashes with the Rhino and Hydro Man, Spider-Man gets Silver Sable to cover. Sable wants to abort her mission as it's no longer profitable, but Spider-Man doesn't want to leave Sandman alone. When she balks at this, he tells her that he quits. Suddenly, his spider sense warns him of the arrival of the Beetle and Boomerang, forcing them on the defensive yet again. Elsewhere in Manhattan, Jack-O-Lantern explains to his men that the reason why he isn't tackling Silver Sable himself is that he has a more lucrative job to do. After putting on his gear, he swears to his minions that after this job, they can expect more work coming in. While at the Daily Bugle, J. Jonah Jameson gets a preview of tomorrow's edition and discovers yet another story about the Hobgoblin. Wondering why Joe Robertson is focusing on old news like this, he decides to pay the editor-in-chief a visit in his office. Joe has lost track of time as he was looking over photos of the night the Hobgoblin was arrested. Looking at 2 different photos of the villain, he tells Jonah that they may have proof that Flash Thompson is not the Hobgoblin. Meanwhile, back at Coney Island, the Sandman is still holding his own against the Sinister Syndicate. However, the tide of the battle turns when Speed Demon creates an air funnel with his super speed, threatening to disperse the Sandman's particular mass all over the place. Meanwhile, Spider-Man has stashed Silver Sable in a nearby Ferris wheel and tells her to stay put while he ends the battle. However, the woman refuses to stand back and do nothing. Using her bandana to bind her injured ankle, she slips down to the ground to do her part in the battle. In the jail, where Flash Thompson's being held until trial, Thompson is about to give up, proving his innocence. His lawyer, Sharon Banks, pleads with Flash not to give up no matter how futile the case against him looks. Suddenly, there's an explosion setting off the alarms. That's when Jack-o'-lantern breaks into the holding cell. He stops at Flash's cell, thinking he's the Hobgoblin, and explains that he has come to set him free. In the confusion, Jack knocks out his lawyer and escapes with Thompson. Soon, the Rose gets a phone call, informing him of the jailbreak. He tells this to the real Hobgoblin, who is furious that Jack-o'-lantern is ruining his plans. The Rose then suggests that if they kill Thompson, they can continue their plans. The Hobgoblin loves this idea, and it gives him the opportunity to take out Jack-o'-lantern as well. Meanwhile, back at Coney Island, the Sandman has reformed himself and knocks out Hydro Man. With none of his other allies present, Speed Demon runs off, looking for his comrades. Later, at Jack-o'-lantern's hideout, the villain tells his men to keep an eye on Flash Thompson, and to inform him as soon as Thompson awakens. Jack goes to his room and wonders why Thompson didn't want to be rescued. Suddenly, the real Hobgoblin comes crashing in through the window, and furiously attacks Jack for endangering his plans. When the Hobgoblin explains that Thompson was a fall guy, Jack tries to explain that he made an honest mistake. Back at Coney Island, Spider-Man and Silver Sable are pinned down by Boomerang and Beetle. That's when Spider-Man realizes that the antenna on the Beetle's costume regulates his finger blasts. That's when Sable tosses two of her Kais, cutting through the antenna. Regardless of this, the Beetle still has his height and strength. Meanwhile, back at Jack-o'-lantern's hideout, the battle between Jack and Hobgoblin have distracted Jack's thugs enough for Flash Thompson to break free and escape. By that point, the battle between the two villains has been taken outside. There, the Hobgoblin uses his randomized finger blaster to overpower Jack-o'-lantern. While this is happening, the battle at Coney Island rages onward. Spider-Man manages to get the drop on the Beetle and knocks him out so he can focus on Boomerang. While Silver Sable watches the two battle it out, Hydro Man recovers and attempts to drown her. Meanwhile, Jack-o'-lantern manages to knock Hobgoblin down. Realizing that he can't win this battle, Jack decides to flee while he can. Seeing his foe making his escape, Hobgoblin leaves as well, vowing to get his revenge. At that time, Spider-Man saves Silver Sable's life by tossing Boomerang through Hydro Man's liquid form. Unfortunately, this leaves him open to being struck from behind by the Rhino. This allows Silver Sable to grab a fire extinguisher and spray it into Hydro Man's liquid body, making him violently ill when the chemical mixes in with his body. When Spider-Man recovers from the blow, he lashes into the Rhino, beating him into submission. Meanwhile, Speed Demon runs into a trap set by the Sandman. By this point, the Beetle has determined that the battle is a loss and orders his teammates to flee.
Game over.
In the aftermath, Spider-Man is shaky, but when he asks Silver Sable for payment, she reminds him how he said he quit. She then offers the Sandman a job, telling him that she could use some freelance operatives like him in the future. The Sandman is quite interested in hearing more and heads off with Sable. Spider-Man is upset because he didn't manage to collect the money he needed to help Flash Thompson with his legal costs. Once he reaches the rooftop, Spider-Man gets even dizzier. This leaves him to wonder if he has a concussion, or worse, brain damage. Elsewhere, Flash Thompson's on the run, worried about the police, Jack-o'-lantern, and the Hobgoblin. Fearing that he has nobody left to trust, even Spider-Man, Flash decides to figure a way out of this situation on his own. This story is continued in The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 282. Geek Fact: Hydro Man mentions having an old score to settle with the Sandman. This was due to the fact that they were merged together in Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 217 and issue number 218, from June and July of 1981. The two were eventually separated in Marvel 2-in-1, Volume 1, issue number 86, from April of 1982. Bonus Geek Fact: the difference that Joe Robertson notices in the Hobgoblin arrest photos is that the photo of the real Hobgoblin is wearing a tunic with a red button, while the picture of Flash Thompson doesn't have the button. These photos were taken during the course of Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 276, from May of 1986. The true identity of the Hobgoblin is not revealed until Spider-Man: Hobgoblin Lives, issue number 3, from March of 1997.
A little bit of trivial pursuit.
When it comes to the cover art of this issue, the Spider-Man figure is penciled by Mike Harris. The floating heads are penciled by Morgan, but it's all inked by Joe Rubinstein.
Wow!
Advertising Ad Fact: the tales you remember,
plus the moments you missed. Every great story leaves you wanting more. And now we're giving it to you. Classic tales of the early X-Men, with new scenes you've never seen before. Plus new stories by Chris Claremont and John Bolton. Coming soon to a comic shop near you, Classic X-Men!
Oh my gosh!
Oh, Kitty, what a pity you don't understand. With all your comic facts, you're the smartest in the land. Oh, Kitty, with your ditties, don't you understand? It's cats like you, Catman. Oh, do what you do, Kitty. You're just so smart, Kitty. Hey, Catman, the facts you find, they blow my mind. Hey, Catman. Hey, Catman. Hey, Catman, the facts you find, they blow my mind. Hey, Catman. Hey, Catman. Hey, Catman, the facts you find, they blow my mind. Hey, Catman. Hey, Catman. Oh, Kitty, what a pity you don't understand. With all your comic facts, you're the smartest in the land. Oh, Kitty, with your ditties, don't you understand? It's cats like you, Catman. Oh, do what you do, Kitty. You're just so smart, Kitty.
Now, the events that led up to William Baker becoming the Sandman vary from account to account. In one telling, Flint caught Vic and Marcy having an affair. After beating up Vic, he went on a crime spree that led to yet another incarceration. Sent to Rikers Island, Flint eventually broke out of prison, causing the manhunt that led to him getting his powers. Another states that during one of his later arrests, Flint learned that his father was released from prison and broke out in order to be with him. It was during his flight from the authorities that Flint Marko was exposed to the radiation that gave him his powers. Accounts of the actual cause vary. Originally, it was stated that Flint hid from the authorities at the site where a nuclear bomb was being tested. Another account states that Marco was near the site of a nuclear reactor that detonated, and yet another states that he hid in a cave where radioactive waste was being stored. Whatever the case, after being exposed to radiation, his body interacted with the sand under his feet, mutating Marco in such a way that he could turn his body into sand and manipulate each grain to shape any form he desired. Flint has stated that it was after his power he caught Vic and Marcy together and unleashed his powers on them in a fury before fleeing. However, he did leave them alive. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic Game Collectible, and I hope to see you again Wednesday. This is Cut Fun Comics Man, and I'll catch you on the flip, Thunder Kitties. Over and out.